Well, I'm not going to sign off just yet. I still have a few more minutes to go, so I'm just going to add a little bit. As we're going on over the next few weeks, I'm going to start to introduce nakshatras into the readings, and also um, tell you what influence those have on it. Stay tuned next week for Chinese astrology by sign, a more detailed examination. I'll get into more detail on numerology and what it means to us in terms of both the Vedic and the Western astrology system. And I'll also speak about certain mantras and remedies you can take for the chart. This is one of the more powerful aspects of Indian astrology. Um, Indian astrology, or Vedic astrology in particular, has this wonderful system of mantras and yantras and a variety of other tools that you can use to calm down or ameliorate uh, bad luck in a chart. I think that'll be very, very useful to you as we're going on, especially for those of you who are born with moons in Capricorn, Aquarius, um, or Sagittarius, because you're going through what's called a 7.5 year period of Saturn. Even if your sun's in those signs, it's a very difficult time for you. For people born with um, Gemini rising or Gemini suns, you're going through what's called an Ashami Shani, which is a difficult Saturn transit as well. And for people born with Libra and Libra rising or Libra sun signs, you're going through what's called a Kantaka Shani, so where you're having to rebuild your entire reputation or um, career life. So these remedial measures can be very helpful for you. I'll start talking about those in greater detail at the next broadcast, and I think you'll find those very interesting. If I want to add one more point to the chart. When I'm talking about general indications um, for planetary problems in a chart, and when I'm talking about conservative measures in the chart, I'm trying to get back to when these things have happened before. So in 1991, 92, there was a Saturn Jupiter. These transits happen every 30 years. There's a Saturn Jupiter combination in Capricorn. In 1962, there was a Saturn Jupiter combination in Capricorn. And in 1941, I believe, was a Saturn Jupiter combination in Capricorn. So every 30 years, you have these very, very, and you had also combinations, Saturn Jupiter combinations tend to give um, changes of leadership, particularly in the United States. So we've already had one change of leadership, but that doesn't protect current leaders. So it doesn't necessarily mean you'll have a presidential assassination or a president die in office, but you are seeing the leadership change in a variety of areas around the world. So that can also mean things like one party becoming dominant or one party becoming um, less powerful, or shifts in leaderships in parties, or shifts in leaderships, or shifts in focus for various governments. So that's why this particular Jupiter Saturn combination is very important. It's not so much in terms of the hazard it brings to people, it just portends change. And you'll start to see one change right now, between now and April, really between what it was last fall and April, then another shift backwards between September and December and mid-December. and then another shift between December of 2021 and April of 2022. And that's mainly caused by where Jupiter goes in the chart. Because right now, Jupiter, which is a planet of tradition or of a traditional way of doing things, is weak. Um, it'll become stronger after April 27th when it moves into Aquarius, but it really won't be strong until the summertime. So it's important to keep that in mind. So that'll positively affect. So right now, Jupiter's transit is positively affecting um, Taurus, Cancer, and Virgo. After April 27th, it will positively affect Gemini, Leo, and Libra. That's in the Vedic system of astrology. So you'll see people with planets in those signs will tend to have rather good luck compared to people in other signs. It'll be a little bit clearer after Venus moves from the sign and after Mercury moves from the sign. Because right now it's not so clear because you have this cluster of planets packing all this energy into one part of space. And that's what's making us all a little bit paranoid right now. We're essentially like we're like looking over our shoulders at whether or not our neighbors are going to be conspiring against us or out to hurt us. After that transit occurs, there'll be more openness to change, there'll be more willingness to change. But I think that it's always a good idea not to scare people too much when Jupiter is in Capricorn because they'll react poorly. They'll react um, unwisely. Let's put it that way. So that's what you're seeing right now. And like I said, it looks calm. Um, this isn't to make it negative. It is calm, but there's also a vast undercurrent of unrest. I think which you're going to see demonstrate itself in the next 13 years or so. So we have like a short period of time where everything is relatively placid, but slow moving, and you'll start to see within about a year and a half, you'll start to see a shift, and some of the changes that started before this will actually become more prevalent. You'll see less concentration of power, more dispersion of power. And what I'm basing this on is essentially the last time the United States was in this Mahadasha was during the Teddy Roosevelt years. So this doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be exactly the same thing. You may see more concentration of power, but I'm betting on less concentration of power after about 2 years or the start of that. Okay, so I'll leave you with that. That's enough pontificating out of me, and I'll see you next week. And again, don't worry, everything is going to be okay. Um, to quote a great man, um, the only thing that we need to fear is fear itself. Okay, so don't be afraid. You're going to be fine, and we'll get through this together. COVID's going to it won't disappear, but I'm cautiously predicting it'll be under control by April. Okay, so good luck, everyone. God bless you. And there'll be more next week. More on the Chinese zodiac, more on um, COVID, more on numerology, more on Vedic astrology, more on the nakshatras or the infamous lunar mansions in Vedic astrology. Okay? All right. Bye, everyone. See you soon. And again, blessings and good health to everyone. Don't forget, subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. We want to make this grow bigger and bigger and bigger. Or at least I do. I hope you do too. Bye, everyone.